Hey guys, welcome back. It's your girl Toya T, and I'm back in my car again making more videos because I've been super busy on this pre-holiday day running a bunch of errands. So I thought that I would do my next video for 30 things before 30. This is number 29, almost done. Thank God. We're finally going to finish off this series. So number 29 is to ask for help or get help. And I'm going to get real serious on this, so bear with me. I feel that it's quite common that when people change ages, when they cross over into decades, so maybe you go from being a teenager to being 18, or maybe you turn 21 and you have that big life change, or maybe you are driving and you shouldn't be driving and talking. Or maybe you're turning, 50 or 30 or whatever. So, the fact that you're turning 30, you're going into the next decade. You probably had a sense of what you wanted your life to look like by the time that you were in your 30s. Especially when you're younger, you think that 30s is old, and it's like, when I'm 30, I'm gonna be married and have a white picket fence and a great job and 2.5 kids and a dog, and the white picket fence. And then you get to 30 and maybe you're not quite there yet. I know in my case, I hit 30 and I was still in graduate school. So that whole idea that you have when you're a little girl and you're playing with your Barbies that you'll be all grown up by the time you're 30 and have all these things going on is not necessarily true for everyone. I've been in graduate school since I was 22. It's been taking longer than I expected, but you can't really predict these things. Like, things happen and you just have to kind of roll with it. And in my case, sometimes I don't deal with change very easily. I've already recognized that change, every time I have to do some kind of huge major change, I have some kind of issue and I have a hard time adjusting. I like things to pretty much kind of stay the same, even though I like to try new things. Those things I can control. I can control that, but having to move to a new place or start a new job or any of those major changes always throws me off. So turning 30, I celebrated it well. It was great. And then, everything else that I thought that I would have accomplished by 30, like getting my PhD and having a job and all that stuff, and, being in a committed relationship and maybe working on some babies, all that stuff was looking like it wasn't getting any closer. And I actually really got really stressed and depressed and anxious about all of these compounding factors together. Mostly most of it was kind of induced by my dissertation, and anybody else who's a PhD student understands the whole dissertation stress and what it can cost you. In my case, if you watch my other videos, I've talked about this. I gained 20 pounds between, let's say, November of last year until March of this year. I gained 20 pounds. 20. I was the heaviest I'd ever been in my life, the heaviest I ever thought I'd be in my life without having a human being inside of me. So that was really hard to take when I just saw how big I was and I wasn't fitting into my clothes, and I just felt, really unattractive and stupid because I couldn't finish this dissertation and having all these problems with my writing. And so it was a lot of things compounded. And I think that people don't talk about it enough, especially in the Black community and in communities of color, especially among women too. There's two compounding things going on top of there. So for women, and especially for women of color in this community, people have this idea of you being strong and independent. Maybe they say that there's this idea that you're a superwoman pretty much, and you can do anything. And if you can't do anything, then something is wrong with you. If you can't handle all the stuff that life throws at you, then something is wrong with you. And especially in our community, especially as women of color, there's a stigma attached to actually looking for help, going to a therapist, maybe even getting on anti-anxiety pills or antidepressant pills to help you get through this tough time that is not only something that, you know, is physical, so something that you can control, like doing chores or whatever, doing your work, going to work. But the fact that depression really is an illness, it is something that goes on with chemicals inside of your brain, and it's something that's imbalanced. And if you've ever seen all those commercials about, you know, depression hurts, depression does this, you know, please catch someone before they, you know, do something drastic. Because when you're depressed, it really is that there's something in your system that is so low that you don't want to do anything at all, and everything that you've wanted to, that you loved doing. So maybe you loved cooking or going out, all that stuff you could couldn't care less about, or you don't have the energy to do it, or you find yourself sleeping a lot, or you become anxious about seeing people and having them ask you about something that you haven't accomplished yet. In my case, every time someone would ask me about my dissertation, I got really anxious. My heart started to beat really fast, and I just wanted to just go to Shake Shack and eat a burger and sleep for the entire day. And in my case, I did do that. I did that for most of the winter when I was not working. I was hibernating and doing some stress eating, and it wasn't good. And I knew that I had a problem, but I was too ashamed to actually ask for help and to tell others what was going on. So I also ended up going MIA. So people who were looking for an explanation, those who reached out to me, and I reached back to you months later, because it was just that bad that I actually could not be found. I tried not to be found, except for my friends who were here and asked me to go someplace. I was not returning phone calls or emails. They were all piling up. I think at one time I had over like 1,200 emails that I didn't answer because, you know, answering email was causing me stress and anxiety. And that's an issue. But again, on top of that, I was feeling shame about the fact that I'm supposed to be this person in my family that has all of the stuff, you know, all of my stuff, together, and I know where I'm doing, and I'm hardworking, and all this other stuff. And it's just really embarrassing when you reach an obstacle and you feel that you can't get over it, and you feel that asking for help is a sign of weakness, and it's not. It's not a sign of weakness. And I will admit to you on here, we'll get personal, that I actually went to go see a therapist. It was recommended to me by my advisor, and she admitted herself that she also had seen a therapist, and that it's quite common among people in academia, especially women of color, and that I'm not alone. It's not something that is a stigma or shameful to go to someone and actually have them listen to you and with a clear mind help you get through your issues. And that's exactly what my therapist was doing for me. She pretty much had to listen to my stories and told me, you know, try to get at the root of what the problem is. Like, what is your problem, and how can we take small steps towards fixing it? So that really helped, being able to set those small goals. It really helped with my writing. I did a lot more stuff, and it really helped me get out of that depression and funk. Only problem is that she moved, and then I, you know, thought that I was, you know, cured and I was good. And for a minute I was, but then, you know, I hit another huge obstacle that was dissertation related, and I just went into a hole, a very, very dark hole, where I saw no possible, like, place where I saw no light at all. I saw no way of getting out of it. I saw no future for myself. I felt that I had failed at life, on all aspects of it, and you know, just could not see the future for myself. And I kind of just saw things day to day and just wanted to sleep and not be a part of the world, because it hurts so bad to feel so shameful and feel like a failure, which is, as I identified with my therapist, one of my biggest fears is the fear of failure. So, which fuels a lot of stuff. It can fuel you to do very well, but it can also cause you a lot of stress when you are having difficulty. And in my case, I tend to keep a lot of stuff inside and not tell people. And so it got pretty bad. And then I also ended up having to talk to my doctor about it. And she was recommending things on, you know, what you can do. So exercise is very good for stress and anxiety and depression, because it, as my doctor says, it increases the happy juices in your brain. You know, it gets your blood pumping, and also, you know, you're not gaining weight, so that helps. So going to the gym, working out, if you're in the case where it gets so bad that you really don't see a way out of it, I would highly recommend that you talk to your doctor and get prescribed antidepressant pills or anti-anxiety pills. And don't be ashamed of it, because other people use them too. And they don't have to be like, you know, zombie inducing level pills. You can have very light pills that just, you know, just help the chemicals in your brain that were very low from being depressed or whatever, helping them move up and go back to a normal level so that you can function again. And then along with good eating and exercise, you can work through all, and talking to people and support. So you'll be able to talk to people. And I really wanted to address this because as I was telling you that I was so afraid and shameful of what I was going through that I didn't tell anybody. And then I found out when I spoke to some friends, I was like finally telling them like why I was missing. They fully understood and was like, you know, I understand. I was going through some stuff too. And you really just would not know unless you ask and talk about it. And people feel like they can't talk about it, and it's not something that should be talked about. But I will tell you, especially in the Black community, they have all kinds of things about going to see doctors and going to see a therapist. It is not a white people's kind of activity, okay? Seeing a therapist is an everybody activity. It's a human activity. If you have an issue, you have to go and get yourself some help. If you had a gash on your arm, you would go to the doctor. If you had a fire, you would go to a firefighter. You get a firefighter. If you had a toothache, you'd go to the dentist. So it's the same thing. If you have problems that you just cannot work through and you're feeling really low and you're not doing the things that you used to do, or not getting any pleasure from the things that you used to take pleasure in, go and talk to somebody. And there's all kind of different forms of this. Therapists are the ones that, you know, don't involve medication because they can't prescribe it. They don't have the MD. A psychiatrist is the one that you'd have to go to get therapy and prescription antidepressives or whatever you have, anti-anxiety pills. So those are the two differences. And if you have insurance, which if you live in the state of Massachusetts, you do, because we have wonderful, we have wonderful statewide health care, which everyone should have in the first place. So all of you Republicans, I don't think any Republicans will be watching this, but universal health care is a good thing because it keeps the crazies and the sick people off the street. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. But if you have insurance, most therapy and pills associated with it are covered by your insurance. So you just have to talk to your doctor and talk to whoever you're seeing to see what works, what fits into your plan. Maybe you're not going to like the top private therapist that's $1,000 an hour, but you can find someone. You can find a community center or a support group or something to help you get through it, and it can be covered by your insurance. I've also seen that some church groups are actually getting into it too. So you can talk to your pastor, talk to a women's support group or whatever support group, and just get all that out and get the support and the help that you need. So please don't get to 30 and have the kind of experience that I had, where it was just a very dark and hard year to get through. And I feel like I wasted a good part of 30 just being miserable and hopeless. And I do believe that everything happens for a reason, and I definitely had to go through that to kind of get a different perspective on where I wanted to go in life and what I think is what I think is important. And at this point, I think I've said this several times, I just don't have time for drama. I don't care for it. I don't care for stress. I think at this, especially these last couple of months, like stuff happens and I'm just like, okay, we'll just have to figure out a different solution to it, because I just don't really have time to be worrying about things that don't involve my health. If it's not going to kill me, then I don't need to be like super stressed about it. There's always a different alternative or a way to get these things done. I have a roof over my head, food in my stomach, a car that I own and I drive, and a job. So it's these are all things, or at least marketable skills, and I'm trying to get a new job, but that's besides the point. But these are all things that I think that is important. And this is like getting really long. But if you stayed this long, please talk with me. Let me know what you think about it. Share any stories. This is a no judgment zone about stuff like that. I'll judge you if you look stank, but I won't judge you when it comes to things concerning mental health, especially mental health in the Black community and the brown communities, where this kind of topic is not talked about as much, and especially when it's compounded by being a female and a person of color. So share my video, subscribe, dislike, like it, comment. Let's have a conversation, and I will see you guys later. Bye.